Fox News Alert top military brass testifying before a House committee right now amid new concerns that budget cuts may have left the Washington Navy Yard more vulnerable to Monday's deadly shooting rampage. A live look now at the hearing about the mandatory budget cuts known as sequester, now getting some pretty serious new attention. With many big questions still unanswered about Monday's deadly rampage, lawmakers want answers about security procedures at military facilities. All of this coming as we learn about the red flags, and there were many of them, raised about this man, the gunman Aaron Alexis, including reports that police warned the Navy about serious mental problems 6 weeks ago, and that he visited a psychiatrist at a VA hospital twice in the last month. In the meantime, we're also awaiting a briefing from the Defense Secretary, Chuck Hagel, as well as the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey. National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin is live at the Pentagon with more on this. Jennifer, lawmakers on the Hill are trying to make the link between what happened on Monday at the Navy Yard and the budget cuts that preceded that. Is there a link?
Well, remember, Greg, this hearing on sequestration and budget cuts was scheduled with the House Armed Services Committee long before the attack carried out at the Navy Yard on Monday. Shortly after that attack on Monday, Republican lawmaker Mike Turner of Ohio pointed to the fact that there was a Pentagon IG report, Inspector General report, that came out almost simultaneously with the shooting on Monday, and it was dealing with issues of security clearance and access to facilities of certain workers. And they mentioned that there were 52 convicted felons who the IG had found had been given access to bases and that they could be dangerous, and yet they were given clearance. Those issues are likely to come up during this hearing. But the Navy pushes back pretty hard, saying that this is a different case. Aaron Alexis does not fall under the category of this Inspector General's report of what they were looking into. Here's Admiral Jonathan Greenert, the Chief of Naval Operations, just moments ago.
The cost control measures that were mentioned in this report have nothing to do with budget shortfalls or sequestration itself. We don't cut budgetary corners for security.
Remember, Aaron Alexis passed 4 separate security clearance exams in the last year alone. That's according to his employer. That means that the Defense Department cleared him. He had a valid badge to get onto that base. It is not as though budget cuts had less security at the base and then allowed him to get on into. He was essentially going to work that day. There are going to be questions about why his mental health issues didn't rise to the level to have that secret clearance taken away from him, and how government contractors are cleared for these kind of sensitive jobs. But this is not a case of budget cuts that allowed that had caused weakened security at the Navy Yard and allowed him into that facility.
Jennifer,
Greg?
You're obviously there at the Pentagon. What's been the reaction there to the Navy Yard shooting?
Well, what we're waiting for right now is the first press conference. It's the first time we'll hear from Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel, as well as the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Martin Dempsey. They will be asked by they'll be asked many questions, including what's been forgotten this week and is very important is U.S. strategy on Syria. What is the military planning to do if the talks with the Russians, if the ability to secure the chemical weapons doesn't occur? What we do know is that the Pentagon announced shortly after the attack at the Navy Yard that they were going to review security and physical access to bases and facilities worldwide. They will be announcing that this morning, Greg.
Jennifer Griffin live at the Pentagon. Jennifer, thanks.